Today we're gonna quickly go through what you can do and what we are doing to improve a desert landscape or semi-desert landscape, add fertility to your land and get a bountiful harvest. The very first step that you can do to turn this wasteland into a oasis is to start marking zai pits. Now Lucas is showing it here. Now the idea is if the water flows this way, then you want to make it perpendicular with the water flow. Now if you do small zai pits, you can use a triangle, a level triangle, but because we are working with small catchments here and we're not working with big areas, we are just eyeballing it. If you are working on big swales, you should use a laser level or a dumpy level. The very next step is to dig the pits. Now last year we had 2 good rains and it filled up these pits completely. It wasn't enough to get the valley green, but it was enough to fill up the ground. We realized 2 things. First is we have very bad drainage. This is clay soil, so we cannot plant inside of the zai pit. But if you live in a sandy area and you want to do grass, plant grass fields, then I would suggest there's a shallow zai pit like this or a shallow half moon like that, and then you can plant inside. If you live in a place with poor draining soil, I would suggest a much deeper one like the ones we are currently digging, and then planting trees and grasses on the outside. Digging process, you have choices. You can either dig a shallow hole or you can dig like Lucas has done here. This is, if you get almost as high as his knee. Then again after that you have other choices as well. You can fill it up with worm castings like we did here, or you can leave it empty like this one here. Both of them are good. The worm castings one, I believe at the end of the day will yield better results for the trees around it, and then that gives you, because you now have good draining, that gives you a chance to plant on top of that as well. Just to get the first 2 steps right again. First, mark perpendicular with the water flow. Second, dig and decide and practice and experiment on how deep, how wide, etc. That's the first 2 steps. Step is to fertilize it, either worm castings, manure, grass, mulch, anything that can add fertility to the land. Number 4 will be planting. So around the zai pit you can add trees like that one and this one. The roots will eventually go into the middle and find the fertility there, and also whenever it rains it will tap into that water reservoir. But what we will do is we will plant a ground cover now on top of this, on the places that's been fertilized and on the areas that hasn't been fertilized. And so what we'll be planting today is this. Is a local seed called mutete. Grass species that's enjoyed by both animals and people, and it suits our climate. But planting obviously depends on your climate. And we'll be planting these beans as well. They are perennial as well as the grass, and they will grow a little bit taller and they will fall over and stay flat, and they will add more fertility to the soil. Then we'll add some onions, not too many in between there, just to keep some of the mice and other insects away. And then we'll plant 2 or 3 a bit of these squash to see if they don't want to migrate our zai pit and spread the greenness around a little bit. After planting you can mulch very lightly, just enough to keep some of the sun out. If you're in a sunny area, keep some of the moisture in, but not too much to keep the seeds from poking through. So you've mulched. The 5th and final step is to add protection. If you have a fence against around your place, that's fantastic. Here we are fenced against goats and horses and so on, but we have added the Muscovy ducks to get rid of the termites. So now we add the thorns over our zai pit, and that will then protect our new little plants from the Muscovy ducks. This obviously looks terrible, looks like a mess, but it's basically thorn branches, and then we placed a little bit of grass over the top to create our own little bits of shade where these plants can then germinate in the shade. The grass will blow away with time, and we'll take it away once the plants gets bigger, but this will give them the best chance against direct sun and wind. So those are the 5 tips: mark, dig, plant, fertilize, plant and protect. And I'll see you tomorrow. Have a wonderful day.